It starts simple at first. You notice something moving in the background. You're not sure if it's your imagination, so you write it off as your mind playing tricks on you. But then, the feeling grows. The figures in the painting seem different than before. Their eyes a little sharper, their expressions a little more sinister. You turn away, shaking off the unease, until the nightmares begin. Dark hands reaching from the shadows, whispering voices just beyond comprehension. An overwhelming sense of being watched. You decide you have to take drastic action. You have to get rid of that painting before it's too late. Because if you don't... It is said that some works of art transcend mere paint and canvas, carrying something far more sinister within their frames. Of all the cursed objects in the world, one stands out. A painting so disturbing, so deeply malevolent, that those who have owned it report eerie occurrences, disturbing nightmares, and even untimely deaths. This is the story of The Hands Resist Him, a painting that has left a trail of terror in its wake. Some claim it is merely a collection of strange coincidences. Others believe it is the most haunted artwork in existence. In 1972, artist Bill Stoneham created The Hands Resist Him, an unsettling oil painting depicting a young boy and a life-size doll standing in front of a glass door, disembodied hands pressing against the panes from the darkness beyond. The painting was inspired by an old photograph of Stoneham as a child, but it took on a far more eerie tone upon completion. When asked about the painting, Stoneham said the boy is based on a photograph of himself at age 5. The doorway is a representation of the dividing line between the waking world and the world of fantasy and impossibilities, while the doll is a guide that will escort the boy through it. The titular hands represent alternate lives or possibilities. The work was first displayed at the Feingarten Gallery in Beverly Hills, where it caught the attention of actor John Marley, best known for his role in The Godfather, as well as a prominent Los Angeles art critic. Both men praised the painting, but their fates would soon take a dark turn. Shortly after purchasing the painting, John Marley passed away in 1984 under mysterious circumstances. While the official cause of death was reported as complications from open heart surgery, some who knew of the painting's reputation whispered that his demise was no coincidence. However, Marley was not the only one to meet an untimely fate after encountering The Hands Resist Him. The most chilling death linked to the painting was that of the very man who helped bring it to prominence, an art critic named Henry Seldes. Seldes, a well-respected writer for the Los Angeles Times, had written a glowing review of Stoneham's work, highlighting the unsettling beauty of the piece. Within a year of his review, Seldes was found dead under perplexing circumstances. Some reports claim his body was discovered in his home, while others suggest he had fallen to his death. The lack of clear information surrounding his passing only added to the growing whispers that the painting was cursed. Adding to the mystery, the Feingarten Gallery, which originally showcased the painting, abruptly closed its doors not long after. Some say financial struggles were to blame, but those who believe in the painting's dark influence see this as yet another victim claimed by its power. Was it all a coincidence? Or had The Hands Resist Him already begun its reign of terror? The strange occurrences were only beginning. While the description from the artist seems fairly straightforward, the story of the painting takes a creepy turn when it became the source of a viral meme back in February of 2000. For years, the painting had been hidden from public view, its whereabouts unknown. Then, in the early 2000s, it resurfaced under bizarre circumstances. A family from California listed the artwork on eBay, accompanied by a chilling description detailing their harrowing experiences. The listing, which included a disclaimer absolving the seller of liability, was viewed over 30,000 times, and the painting eventually sold for just over $1,000. According to the sellers, the painting had been discovered in an abandoned brewery. At first, they thought nothing of it, but soon their young daughter began speaking of the figures in the painting moving at night. The parents dismissed this as childish imagination. until they saw it for themselves. The boy in the painting seemed to change positions, sometimes appearing outside of the door. The doll's expression would shift, its hollow eyes following those who gazed at it. Worst of all, they reported hearing faint scratching sounds coming from within the frame. Terrified, they set up a motion-activated camera overnight. What they captured was enough to drive them to sell the painting immediately. The images, which were uploaded to the eBay listing, allegedly showed the boy stepping out of the painting, followed by the doll holding a small object in its hand. Some claimed it was a gun. Word of the haunted painting spread like wildfire. The listing itself became an internet sensation, receiving thousands of views and sparking heated discussions in paranormal communities. Many who merely looked at the images online claimed to experience nausea, anxiety, and even terrifying nightmares. Was it mass hysteria, or was something truly sinister embedded in the painting's brushstrokes? The painting was eventually purchased by a gallery owner who soon reported experiencing strange phenomena. Visitors who viewed the painting in person reported sudden feelings of dread and unease. Some claimed they saw shadowy figures lurking in their peripheral vision. Others swore they heard whispers emanating from the frame itself. Each new owner seemed to inherit a piece of the curse. Some reported failing health, financial ruin, and even terrifying encounters with spectral hands reaching for them in the night. The pattern was undeniable. Wherever the hands resist him went, misfortune followed. As the years went by, the hands resist him continued to haunt the minds of those who had heard its story. From the viral eBay listing to its continued whispers across the internet, the painting's legacy only grew, fueled by stories, poems, and theories. But as with most legends, the line between fact and fiction became increasingly blurred. In 2001, R. Ponsati, a self-proclaimed poet and investigator into the supernatural, wrote a dark and ominous poem that was widely shared in paranormal circles. The poem was an attempt to explain the deeper, more sinister meaning of the painting, and it resonated with many people who believed there was more to the hands resist him than met the eye. Ponsati's poem speaks of the boy in the painting as a soul trapped between two worlds, caught between innocence and the darkness that beckons him through the hands on the glass. It describes the doll as a demonic guide, leading the child through a place of shadow and torment. The hands themselves, according to Ponsati, represent the alternate lives and choices that lie before the boy, each one more sinister than the last. One of the most enduring aspects of the hands resist him legend is the urban myth surrounding what happens when you stare at the painting for too long. Those who have seen the image often claim that merely gazing at it can cause a deep, unsettling feeling of dread, an overwhelming sensation of being watched, followed, or even cursed. But it doesn't stop there. Many people who claim to have stared at the painting for prolonged periods report experiencing disturbing phenomena shortly after. Some speak of seeing the boy's face change, his expression shifting from innocent to something more sinister. Others have described the hands in the background moving or even reaching out from the canvas to touch those standing before it. But the most chilling claim is that those who look at the painting too long risk becoming trapped in its gaze, forever haunted by the entities within. The more they look, the more they claim to hear whispers or feel a pressing force compelling them to act, sometimes leaving the viewer in a dazed or confused state. These urban legends, whether fueled by mass hysteria or real paranormal activity, continue to shape how people perceive the painting today. In 2008, the painting story was further expanded upon in a book titled "Be Careful What You Bid For: The Haunting of the Hands Resist Him." Heinemann speculates that the painting was more than just an unsettling piece of art. It might have been an occult object, either created with dark intentions or inadvertently imbued with malevolent energy over the years. Today, The painting rests in a private collection at the Perception Gallery in Grand Rapids, Michigan, adding to the intrigue and fear surrounding it. The legend of the hands resist him continues to evolve, shaped by various urban myths, chilling poems, and investigations that try to explain the haunting experiences tied to it. Whether you believe the painting holds dark, supernatural powers, or think it is merely the product of mass hysteria, its place in the world of cursed objects is undeniable.